Okay, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to our essential oil efficacy study for pain, digestion, and stress. My name is Aisha Harley, and I am one of your study facilitators. I have been using and educating others about essential oils for the last 7 years, and I'm so excited to share them with all of you. We are very grateful to all of you for taking the time to join us, and we hope that you will find great value and a positive experience in these 2 weeks that we have together. So I'd like to take a moment and introduce our study facilitators. Our panel is made up of advanced essential oil educators who've had profound healing experiences of their own with doTERRA's oils and products and have been working with this company for several years, helping others learn how to use doTERRA essential oils. So first, I would like to introduce Stephanie. Want to give everyone a wave, Stephanie? Stephanie is a functional nutritionist and herbalist with over 25 years of experience. She is a published writer and blogger and will also be the one tracking and reporting our study results. And then I would next like to introduce Dr. Josie Schmidt. Give everyone a wave, Jose.
Hey
She's
there.
a naturopathic doctor with over 15 years of clinical experience, and 4 years ago retired from her practice to devote herself to educating others about the power of essential oils. And she's not with us here today, but you'll be seeing her on the Facebook group and on other webinars. We also have Kate Kettlewell, who is a leader in our community with over 6 years of personal and professional experience using essential oils and has had her own life-changing healing experiences, which she will share with you later in the week. And we cannot list all of them, but we do want to acknowledge the person that invited you here to. They are your direct support and also will bring their knowledge, expertise, and guidance to your essential oil experience. So today we are going to do a brief overview of essential oil usage and safety. We will then review your phase 1 protocol, and at the end of the webinar, we will open the line for questions. We do have 3 focus groups going on in the same study. So you may be here because you are looking for solutions to your digestive issues. Others may be eager to see how essential oils work for stress and anxiety. And some of you may be here in hopes to find natural solutions for pain relief. So whatever your focus group is, you will also have the opportunity over the next 2 weeks to expand your knowledge of essential oils and learn what others are doing as well. So Stephanie is going to take a few moments and share with you our intentions of the study.
Thanks, Aisha. We're so glad you've decided to be a participant in our study, and I'm pleased to share we have over 300 participants from all over the world, including from Japan, Australia, Europe, Canada, and Mexico. So welcome, everyone. And here are some of the intentions for our study. So first is to offer people who are new to using therapeutic quality essential oils the opportunity to experience their power for improving a particular health goal or priority. Second is to educate on how essential oils can be used, on their unique qualities and the benefits that make them so effective. And third is to equip and advocate for their use in daily life for self-care or for healthcare practitioners for medical care. Fourth, we want to offer a deeper level of understanding by including education on all 3 areas of the focus, and for 3 different applications for use in the context of this one group. So you'll all be learning from each other's studies as well. And finally, we would like to understand the results and to publish the study findings. So now I'll send you back to Aisha to learn some more about the basics of essential oils.
Awesome, thank you. So essential oils have been around for thousands of years, literally dating back as far as 3500 BC, where the Egyptians used them for cosmetics, for perfumes, for medicines, and so much more. But over time, we got off track with using natural approaches to healing and have turned towards using more synthetic solutions, which certainly has its place, but also comes with the downside of unpleasant side effects and at times high financial costs. So by returning to what nature provides, essential oils offer effective solutions with positive effects and outcomes. So we are going to share with you the top 3 things we consider essential about essential oils. So the first thing to remember is that essential oils come from plants and are 100% natural and safe for you and your entire household, including your pets. When you use essential oils in your home, your children can quickly learn how to self-medicate. We have used the oils for cuts, scrapes, bee stings, to cheer up or to calm down, and you can rest assured knowing that essential oils are totally safe for the entire family. The other thing that's really cool about essential oils is that they are super potent. Essential oils are 70 times more potent than dried herbs. And so the example we like to give for that is that 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea, right? That's so amazing. So I'm going to now pass it over to Dr. Josie, and she's going to talk about the effectiveness of essential oils.
Oh, thank you, Aisha. So the second essential thing to remember about essential oils is that they are more effective and often work better than medications. So that's a bold statement. So I want to go into this a little bit. You see this diagram, and what we have here is a cell, and the cell is represented by the yellow part, and then the black line around it is the protective cell membrane. And the way things work in the body is we have trillions of cells, right? And we have this protective cell membrane, and it keeps things out that should stay out and things inside the cell that should be in. And one of the most incredible aspects about essential oils is that you see that little squiggle line, that's representing the essential oils, that they're able to very easily and effectively and quickly move through that protective membrane and they can work on the outside of the cell and on the inside. When you think about that, it really opens up the range to how much they can work against and work with and help us in our bodies. When we think about this, what we have represented here is this green blob and the purple blob, right? Like the blobs. The green is representing a bacteria and the purple is representing a virus. And so not many people know this, but bacteria live outside the cells. They're not able to pass through. This membrane is lipid, which means fat. It's a fatty protective membrane. And bacteria can't pass through that and get to the inside of the cell. And neither can antibiotics. This is why antibiotics are only effective against bacteria. And there you have viruses living on the inside of the cell. So sometimes people don't know that. That's where they live. And so you need there's a lot of medications that we don't really have that can get to the inside of the cell, but essential oils can. So they work both equally as effective, and sometimes it's the same oil that works on the outside of the cell against bacteria, and then equally on the inside of the cell against virus, helping to stop them replicate and working against and killing them off to the inside of the cell. So in this way, essential oils can be much more effective than over-the-counter drugs and even other medications. And I would like to say they don't have the same side effects, or as I like to call them, other effects, undesirable effects. So antibiotics, what are the costs of taking antibiotics? They might kill off a bacteria, but they also kill off all of our beneficial bacteria that is in our GI tract. We've been hearing about this idea of we have an entire microbiome, not to mention all the antibiotic resistance that is happening. And so when you can take and utilize essential oils that are equally or more as effective without those negative side effects, we start to see how they can be so much more effective, and they're also able to work against viruses. So let's go to the next slide, Aisha. So that kind of moves me right into the third essential thing that we would really like you to take home and remember about essential oils is that they are inexpensive and they have multiple cost savings to them. So Let's look at the idea of Western medicine and our insurance system versus natural medicine and using the essential oils at home. And I'd like to use the example of a common ear infection, because this is something that we get in America and all over. It's pretty common for kids to have ear infections, and sometimes having them consistently. So when you go, let's look at the cost of this. If you go to the doctor and you don't have insurance, the visit is a couple $100. Let's assume you have insurance or you live in Europe. We have the American system and we have the Europe, because I know we have Europeans here. So the American system is you have to have insurance to then have a copay. And the copay is maybe somewhere from $100 down to $25, down to $0. Let's even assume that you have the best insurance possible in America and you have a $0 copay, or you live in Europe. And let's assume also you have the best insurance possible, because what's the next cost? A pharmaceutical, right? You have to go buy you have to pharmacy. And most insurances in America, you have to actually pay a copay for that as well. But let's even assume that you have the best of the best insurance and you have no copay for your physician visit and you have no copay for your visit to the doctor, to the pharmacy. What are the other costs of this? Well, probably one of the biggest, and that really is taking off work, right? It's the time it takes to actually go with your child to the doctor, taking off work. There's the gas driving to the doctor's office. There's waiting to be seen. There's driving and going to the pharmacy, getting that prescription filled. And as I mentioned before, probably one of the top side effects and most costly things is then those side effects of the drugs, because there's costs in that. When you erase the beneficial bacteria from taking an antibiotic, which would be prescribed to you for an ear infection, there's a lot of long-term effects that start to build up in your GI tract and your entire digestive abilities. So those are hidden costs that people don't really think about. So dollar for dollar, let's look at using essential oils. So in doTERRA homes, whenever our kids start to have, pulling on the ears or any signs of infection, we take 2 drops of melaleuca and 2 drops of lavender, and we'll rub it behind the ears and down the throat every few hours. And we also can put it on about half a cotton ball, those drops, and then we put the cotton ball in the ears overnight while they're sleeping. And so the cost of that's about 32 cents. And if we know we have a history of more severe ear infections or consistent ear infections, we can add basil to the melaleuca and the lavender. It's a little more of a heavy hitting herb. And that takes our cost all the way up to 63 cents. And that is enough for so many families to stop in the tracks an ear infection from taking place and actually rooting in and have complete resolution. And so this is just one example, but there are so many in our families and our usage of how essential oils are much more inexpensive than using over-the-counter medications.
So just to review the 3 essentials, they are natural and safe, they are more effective than over-the-counter drugs, and they are cost-effective. And then Josie, you're going to talk about the importance of doTERRA oils and how they're not all essential oils are the same.
Oh, I thought Stephanie was going to talk about that.
Oh.
I can. We all love talking about this. But Steph, did you want to? Or?
I thought you were, but I can. I think. Go for it.
Okay. My issue with talking about this, you guys, on the webinar, as you will soon learn, is I like to talk about it too much. So I'll try and pull back. I can talk on an hour on this one. But so not all essential oils are the same. doTERRA is 100% pure and effective and safe. And what do we mean by this? As I said before, there's these bold statements, and I can guarantee you that there is a lot of amazing information and facts and proof behind these kind of statements. We're trying to keep it simple for everyone for right now. But in general, look at this pie, and you'll notice that, see the large portion, the gray, that's the majority of essential oils on the market are synthetic. And what that means is that there has been a constituent. Let's take aspirin, we know, comes from white willow bark. So let's say you have an essential oil from willow, and you've taken out that constituent, acetylsalicylic acid, and then you don't take the whole plant, you just take that one thing, and in a lab, you don't take the natural thing, you synthesize it. That's what synthetic is. And what happens is our bodies are just a little more complex than this, and they can totally tell the difference. And if anyone has taken organic chemistry, there's all these like things about how it is in space and all this great stuff to the intelligence of our bodies, where synthetics are what is really causing the problem, with a lot of people having problems with their immune system, to all types of things, and definitely synthetic essential oils. So if anyone has had a bad experience, two things have happened. They've either had, with essential oils, in my opinion, they've had a synthetic essential oil, or they've had a not pure. So let's look at the other thing. So synthetic happens. Don't let synthetic happen to you. Sorry. Synthetic happens. Then there's food grade. That's the next higher grade. And you know, we have cinnamon, gum, toothpaste, right? Peppermint. Those originally, those flavorings come from essential oils. Coca-Cola originally came from ylang ylang and bubblegums. And so those flavorings, and that's a higher grade. We can ingest it and not die from it. That's kind of what food grade means. Like, it's not going to totally kill you. Whereas synthetic, we don't know. That's not guaranteed some of the time. And then therapeutic is this much higher grade. The problem with therapeutic is there's no governing body in America to really guide what that means. So that's more like a label, you know, how we have to be a little bit wary of when there's the word natural on something. Same thing with therapeutic. So it's really up to essential oil companies themselves to declare their standard. And that is what doTERRA has done. They very specifically declared their own standard of purity, what they are doing, and that is called CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And what that means is they are testing through independent labs for pesticides. So these are the other things that can harm you besides synthetic, is that you would have pesticides or heavy metals, things like that, impurities in your essential oil. So doTERRA is testing multiple times through third-party labs their oils for all of these impurities and for synthetics. And you are guaranteed that every oil that comes out, and each oil, not just the batch, but every bottle of oil, you can trace and find it's testing with doTERRA on their website of how that has been tested. Every bottle of oil is guaranteed 100% pure and safe. Is that too much?
That's perfect.
Sorry, guys.
So Stephanie is now going to review the 3 ways that we use essential oils, which is aromatic, topical, and internal.
Yes, so the first application I'll talk about is aromatic. And if you'd like, and you have your sample oils in front of you, you can open up one of the oil ones and smell directly from the bottle. Just take a really long inhalation of it and experience it right now, no matter what study you're doing. So I think of aromatic application for a few different things. One is definitely for opening respiratory pathways. And I often will put some oils in a mug of hot water and breathe them in, and wow, do they pack a punch. It really works. But also, you know, something like a sinus infection is usually fungal. So to have something that's so proficient at bacteria, virus, and fungal infections is really awesome. And that will come through. Actually used to have chronic sinus infections until I started using these. Another use is for addressing mood, memory, things like focus. And I'm going to talk more about that in a minute. And then finally, for freshening or cleansing the air, we have some really nice research on things like MRSA, H1N1, and actually getting these oils, especially ones high in monoterpenes, like the citrus oils, into the air through a spray or diffuser is going to be really helpful for basically cleaning your air in your home and your environment, or if you have someone in the hospital. It's really wonderful. And you can also use it like in sprays for things like that, but that is how we're going to be using them aromatically primarily. So one very special attribute of essential oils, which differentiates them from medications as well as most other natural therapies, is that they can affect us on every level. So I mean by this mental, physical, emotional, and energetic. So for aromatic use, the key interest here is the emotional effect. So always inhale essential oils if your aim is to address mood. Even if you're applying them topically, there's a lot of overlap. So if you're in a bathroom massage, you're getting aromatic and topical, but don't just put them on the bottom of your feet if you want a mood effect. Also, smell them out of your hands, do that kind of thing to get them to your brain. And so I'll explain a little bit more how this works. So behind the bridge of the nose is the olfactory bulb, like back there, and it is signaled by the inhalation of essential oil molecules. A signal is sent directly to the limbic system in your brain, and the limbic system is the most ancient, primal, reptilian, reactive part of your brain, kind of known for like fight or flight type of response. It's the seat of emotions and memories. It's when you smell chocolate chip cookies baking and you're like immediately in your childhood because you're triggered. And the really interesting thing to me is that scent is the only one of our senses that signals don't pass through the cerebral cortex, which is the thinking part of our brain. And because of this, it's our only direct experience with the world without judgment. So isn't that cool? So actually, this is our true interface is through scent. And it's also one of the first senses developed in a baby because they're just having this direct experience when they first are born. So anyway, the inhalation of essential oils is also the fastest way to affect mood. And in some cases, even the brain. Some oils are really high in sesquiterpenes. You don't have to memorize that, like frankincense, and will actually help with the inflammatory response inside of the brain. So I'm so excited to see where this research will take us with science and health. Considering this, it only takes about 30 seconds for essential oils to affect mood after inhalation. Compare that to about 30 minutes with mood medication, which first has to be swallowed. It's usually water-based, and then it has to be absorbed in the digestive tract and like brought to the bloodstream. So it takes more like 30 minutes, so this is really helpful for people. I'm going to share a story. I was sharing essential oils at a first aid booth with a friend at a festival, and there were a lot of really young 20-something people kind of out in the heat, not really taking care of themselves. And this one young man came to our tent and wanted us to call the ambulance. He was ready to go to the ER. He was really freaking out. I could tell that his blood sugar was low. So I was like, get the guy a smoothie. So I see people after the medics do. So the medics were like calling the ambulance. They could do nothing for him. And I was like peeking my head in the tent, like, hey, can we get him a smoothie? And are you open to trying essential oils? And this guy, like, heart palpitations. And he was just having like a shock. He was in shock because he'd been in too much sun and everything. And he said yes. And so I gave him some peppermint to put in his hand and inhale it. And he went like this, thank you. And he just completely relaxed. And that is an oil that's really good for panic and hysteria. And once he relaxed, I said, hey, I think you're going to be okay. We got smoothie coming, and he just totally was like, okay, it makes you see more clearly, peppermint. And so anyway, these are just really profound at just shifting moods so fast. And I went on to work with him with some other oils and help him. And he didn't have to go to the emergency room. He was fine. And hopefully now he takes better care of himself. So if it still seems strange to you how powerful aromatic use is, consider how anesthesia is used as medicine in a hospital setting to give patients before surgery, and how a pill isn't used. It's used to have this like really immediate effect on the brain. So a few ways you can use these. You can use spray bottles, diffusers, just inhale out of the body. And like I said, also a bath is a diffuser. So there's just lots of ways to use them aromatically. I'm ready for the next slide. The second way is through topical application. So this is so simple. All you need to do is apply the oil wherever the ailment is. So if your shoulder hurts, you can rub an oil like our Mood Blend Deep Blue that's in the study into your shoulder. You can put them directly into open wounds. So if you have a burn, you can put lavender directly into like a fierce burn or an open wound. If your stomach aches, you can apply ginger or digestive blend on your stomach. If you have something strong smelling or a more high sensitizing oil such as oregano or cinnamon, then you might want to use for mood support, or for immune support. You can also think to put them on the bottom of your feet where the skin isn't as sensitive, but the pores are larger. This is great for babies, elderly people with sensitive skin. There was a study by Dr. David Hill, who's one of the advisors for the company doTERRA, whose oils we're using. And he used Balance, which is a really grounding mood oil, but brilliant for circulation. And he had a little video. He took a prick of red blood cells and had a little slide. You can actually watch this, and there was all this like oxidative stress. The cells are like all jumbled together like bubbles when they're stuck together. And then he put 1 drop of balance on the bottom of his feet, and 30 seconds later looked at the blood again, and every cell in his body was just this perfect bubble separate from the other. It's amazing. So this is very powerful. This does affect you, like your whole body, even if you're just putting it on part of your body. You might use these oils topically for things like muscle pain, stomach ache, headaches, scratches, bug bites, skin issues, cramps, so much more. I specialize in maternity and I use them all the time for postpartum healing and stuff like that too. And some oils, some people may require dilution with a carrier oil. I really like with doTERRA that on the bottle it will say highly sensitizing, and there's also charts and things that we help people look at, and with the study we'll be explaining this. But some of them, like I had mentioned, cinnamon is really strong, so it's not one I put on topically a lot, but if I did, I would use a lot of carrier oil or use it in a blend. And also carrier oils are sometimes used just because they slow down absorption, but they lengthen the effects, or they help you to apply, like such as via massage. Other ways to apply beyond bath and massage include like a hot poultice, also the use of infused sprays, ointments, lotions, shampoos. These are all great methods for topical use. So I can't see the slide, but we should be on the next slide there. Okay. So the third way to use essential oils is internally. And not only are the oils that we're working with today, the doTERRA oils, safe for use internally, but they're recommended. If you actually had a bottle in front of you, it would say supplement facts on it. So most grocery store oils, even the organic ones, they say aromatic use only. So just know that the ones that say, recommend or supplement facts, they're safe. Okay. So think about taking essential oils internally for things related to the organs or body systems. For example, they're often used to be supportive of circulation or lymphatic flow, digestion, immunity, detoxification, cellular health, and inflammatory response. You can take a few drops of lemon or lime essential oil in a glass of water to help balance your alkaline acid state, also for detoxification. Really cool. I work, as a functional nutritionist, and there's some really expensive supplements to help with phase 2 liver detoxification, because we don't, like glutathione, we don't have that in our common diet, and we're not all eating really fresh, grass-fed milk. Even if we have it, it's not like it used to be. So we're missing some nutrition in the world, unfortunately, and we have to supplement it. But actually, the lemon and lime oil actually boosts your body's ability to create your own glutathione to help with phase 2 liver detoxification, which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's totally okay. But just know people in this world are like, wow, that's so cool, because usually we all get to phase 1 really easily, and then we end up reabsorbing things. So people with hormonal stuff, you might just be reabsorbing your estrogen every month. It's really great to get this lemon oil in your diet to kick that stuff out. So these are so powerful. They really change your overall way you feel. If you don't like the taste, you can put Roman chamomile or vetiver in a capsule for sleep and take it that way. Those are actually really bitter, and that bitter flavor triggers things that help with relaxation. But we want things to taste good too. So just know there's alternative ways to take them. You can also put them in food for flavoring. Adults usually take between 2 and 4 drops per dose, so several times a day, where kids over 40 pounds would take 1 or 2 drops based on their size. So bigger people, more drops. Still concerned, and an interesting fact, we actually absorb more toxins through our skin than through food. So think of that. So a 1978 congressional hearing presented evidence that a known carcinogen in shampoo is 100 times more absorbed through skin rather than the mouth. So, people think of aromatic as being, oh, I don't care about quality for aromatic, but look what I said, it goes through your brain. We're here internal use. Our bodies are actually made to protect us from things we ingest. So hopefully you don't have too many concerns about this, but, and we're also using oils that have been tested multiple times for purity and at non-toxic doses, which is really important. So I think now Josie's going to explain how the oils we're using in the study differ from grocery store options. Or actually, that slide was out of order, so you just explained that. But I think we're going to go on to do the protocols now. Is that right?
You're going to do a quick overview of safety, and then we're going to go into the protocols.
Okay, cool. Let's see where my slides were a little out of order. Okay, do you have it up? Great, thank you. Sorry, guys. Okay, so these oils are very safe and very gentle with few side effects. I use these with midwives and on babies, and they're they're lovely. They're so much safer than some of the over-the-counter applications. So what I suggest for everyone, because I don't know what your constitution is, I always suggest to patch test for topical use. That means usually on the inside of your wrist or, on an ankle or something. And you can mix with a little bit of carrier oil or just do it directly and see where it is in a few hours. You should see an eruption of color if it's not good. With internal use, start with 1 drop, because some people, especially those with chronic health issues, may be triggered. This is really detoxifying, which is brilliant for you, but you have to ease into it. Otherwise you can have like too much detoxification at once, and that can be hard to cope with. But overall, the effect is great if you're slow and steady. And some people they can go for it and no problems at all. Most people are like that. There tend to be a lot of positive side effects. Keep these out of your eyes, ears, and nose. I mean that. I don't know why people don't listen to me. Don't do that. I've heard people dumping oregano in people's ears. If you do get them in your ears or your eyes, use a carrier oil or even butter. Like whatever kind of fat you have is going to help. Like that fixed oil fat is going to help get it out. And it's really fast. If you make a mistake or your skin is burned from your patch test, just dilute it with olive oil, okay? Not water.
Not water.
Mm-hmm. Yes, not water. Oil and water don't mix, remember? So skin sensitivity is a primary safety issue, and that's pretty basic. Also, we want to keep the lids on tight. So including these sample bottles you guys have, they will evaporate really easily if you don't keep the lids on tightly. And then also keep them out of direct sunlight and extreme heat, and use glass or stainless steel when taking them internally in a glass. And that's pretty much it for safety.
Thank you. So now Dr. Josie is going to go over our phase 1 protocols. So if you actually have your oils, hopefully everybody does, go ahead and get them out while she talks us through this. And also know that we will post these protocols on the Facebook page. So we'll have them there for your reference.
Okay. So just want to be clear, it's not, there's just 2 phases in each study, and we have 3 studies going on simultaneously. So some people are working with digestion, that's study 1, and then some people are working with stress and anxiety, not in order, so study 2, and then some with pain and inflammation, and that's the 3rd one. So those are the 3 separate studies going on, and each of these we have 2 products for each. And so for the first 5 days, which will be phase 1, everyone will be taking their first product, depending on whichever study you're in. And then the second 5 days is going to be phase 2, and that's where you'll be taking your second product. So that's all that the phases mean. So for digestion, our first product is Digest Zen. And this is what we call a combination blend. Or a blend in herbal medicine and in essential oil medicine, so that you can have single oils, and like lavender is, I think, the single oil in the, and you're going to be working in the stress and anxiety, and balance is a blend. Okay, just making that clear. So in Digest Zen, we have the herbs ginger, peppermint, caraway, coriander, anise, tarragon, and fennel. These are all in herbal medicine known as carminatives. They have many mechanisms of action and working on different ways, all within the digestive tract and the digestive system. So it's a really powerful blend of beautiful herbs in their essential oil form. So Digest Zen can be used for the following symptoms. This is why you see such a wide range of how it can help with so many different things within the digestive tract. So bloating, gas, heartburn. So usually, you take in Western medicine one thing for bloating and another thing for gas, right? No, not with this. The herbs have the ability to act simultaneously and multiply on many different levels. So bloating, gas, heartburn, nausea or indigestion, bowel issues, diarrhea, or constipation. So there's this range of the herb's ability it's not acting on us. It is helping to bring us back into our balance. And when you use natural herbs, they have this ability to work the range of, so when someone is out of balance with too loose bowels towards the diarrhea, can bring you back into balance, or constipated, bring you up. They're not acting in a way that is unnatural to our system and directing and just doing one thing. That's what you find with synthetics. So let's look at the protocol for everyone. So in this phase 1 for everyone in the digestion study, you're going to be using 1 to 3 drops 3 times daily after meals, internally or topically, and additionally, anytime you experience any of the above symptoms. So we're giving you some range here. Sometimes it's very, very specific in a study, but we really want, because we know there's a wide range of symptoms. So let's look at this. This blend can be administered in 2 ways, and then we even have some other, we were say, outside of that. So let's look at internally. Some ways that you can use Digest Zen internally is to take a shot glass and put I usually do about 2 drops, but we say 1 to 3 of the oil, and then you fill it up with, a little bit of water, and that's an easy way to take it down. The flavoring of Digest Zen is, the top notes that you're going to taste are the anise and the fennel. So it's kind of that licorice kind of flavor, plus a little bit of ginger and peppermint. It's pretty yummy, actually, and a little on the sweet side. So Digest Zen is usually one we feel pretty confident to have people just take in, or I love making a tea out of it. It's one of my favorite things. I like to do hot water and add a couple drops of Digest Zen in there, and it's delicious to just sip and drink. That's something you can do additionally. But another easy way, let's say you're on the go and you don't really have time for those things and you just want to dose yourself and you want to do it 3 times a day, is you can take your little bottle, and I'd say the first time you do it, look in a mirror. It's easier. You don't want to spatter it on your lips, and just tap in your mouth, under your tongue, 1 to 3 drops directly under the tongue. And so what we're saying that probably for most people, about 2 taps on the bottom of the sample bottle will equal a drop. So then you're going to be working with that. And that's a quick, easy way to just dose it directly, or working with it with the water in a glass. And then topically, so here's the interesting thing. Even the most direct way is to take it internally when you're wanting to affect the organ systems. But guess what? It also works really well topically. And so this is so great for kids, right? It's so hard to get anything in them. And when you can just rub it on their tummy, so you rub it straight on the 2 to 3 drops on the stomach or abdomen. You can even rub it on the feet. It's not as direct. With children, that's one of those great things. You can even rub it on the feet, and your body within 30 seconds is going to absorb the oil and have access to every cell in your body. So it will get there. So topical use is just as just as valuable. All right. So that's everyone for the digestion study. Here's the indications. Let's move on to the pain, phase 1. We're working with Deep Blue. So we love this. This is another blend. And this is a blend of essential oils that is in a cream. They found that it's a really easy way of application of utilizing this blend topically. So this is the Deep Blue, and the herbs that are essential oils in this are wintergreen, camphor, peppermint, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and helichrysum. So Deep Blue is mainly used for pain, inflammation, and bruising. It can be inflammation that is acute or chronic. So acute would be something that's happened recently, a pulled muscle, tendon, sprain, ligament, bruise, owie, that's closed, and incredibly effective. But also if you have something that's old and long-standing, chronic back issues, arthritises, all different kinds. So we're talking about all types of inflammation. So the protocol is to use this directly on the area of pain 3 times a day. So we're talking morning, afternoon, and an evening. There can be some flexibility on that. So that's where you said or you could do more as needed, but probably the sample dose is, we've put it out so there's about enough for people to be doing it on average 3 times a day. If it's sore muscles or joints, put it directly on those areas. If it's a headache, so that's a different kind of pain, you can be applying it under the ears, on the back of the neck, just a little bit. You can be having over if it's on the temple area. Here's one thing though, is you definitely want to afterwards wash your hands and keep it away from your eyes and be careful. And definitely don't be using deep blue and then go to the bathroom. I've done that one without washing your hands first. It's just the mints. They're not gonna. It's nothing wrong. Even if I've had someone squirt peppermint. The actual oil's gone straight into their eye. It doesn't harm the eye. It's just painful for about 3 minutes. So it's even not that bad. I've had that happen to a child. And it was fine after about 3 minutes. So, and the other, yes, we have there, don't use it after a shower or bath or sweaty when your pores are all open and you've just like sauna'd or anything like that. Nothing bad will happen. It's just intense for a little bit. So there you go. That's the warning, but it's actually very effective. Okay. So that's pretty simple for the deep blue and the pain. Stress and anxiety, we're working with the blend is first. And this is one of our favorite ones to start with, which is balance. Balance is from the spruce tree, the hoewood tree. It has our beautiful frankincense, our beloved frankincense, blue tansy, and blue chamomile. And this is already in a base of fractionated coconut oil, which is our carrier oil of choice. I really love this because it is odorless and it does not go rancid easily at all. It lasts the longest, and it has a wonderful. It's not too greasy either. Wonderful application. So, balance is grounding, calming, soothing. It's used for all types of feelings and states of stress and overwhelm, frustration, anxiousness, worry, that whole kind of place where we are out of balance in that way. And so here's our protocol. Using it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. We'd like you to use 2 to 3 drops and putting it in the palms of your hands, rubbing the hands together. So in the drop, rubbing the hands together. Taking a few deep, long inhalations. I like 3. I think that's a really nice. There's 2 and 3. And then you still have it on your hands. You're going to rub it behind your neck, your ears, getting it here. So this is, I call the highway to the brain. When you rub the oil topically in the back of the neck, this is the best blood supply that is helping to reach all into our cranium and brain. So that's a really good place, as well as behind the ears. I want to do a shout out to the digestion people. Those herbs have a lot of great effect also with aromatic. So whenever you use the Digestion, don't be afraid to put a little bit in your hand and smell it as well. I forgot to say that. So, and we have additionally here then with balance, when you feel stressed or anxious, really repeat this as needed. So as many times. And this is a little thicker because of the coconut oil. So you might need like 3 drops to 3 taps on your bottle to equal a drop. The thicker an oil is, the more taps you're going to need to get it out of those little bottles. Does anyone, Aisha or Stephanie, have any additions to these protocols? Okay.
I think you covered it.
Yeah.
So these are the memes that will be posted. They should actually be posted on Facebook now for you to download to your desktop, or you can print it out or put it on your phone so you have it as reference for what you're doing. But hopefully things are pretty straightforward and easy. And of course, you can check in with the person that invited you if you had questions, or you can also ask on the Facebook page. And then in closing, I just want to wrap up and make sure we're all on the same page. So please make sure and complete your pre-survey study by the end of today. We want to have everybody starting tomorrow with your protocol and with your essential oils. So we want to give everybody time to watch the webinar. Not everyone was able to join us live, to fill out your survey, etc. And then we also invite you to keep a journal about how you are feeling over these next 2 weeks and to note any changes, because sometimes what happens is as we heal and as we feel better, we actually forget about our pain. And it's a funny thing that us humans do, but it's nice for you to make some notes day to day how you've been feeling. So when you fill out your exit survey, you will remember, especially for the phase 1. Also, Josie had mentioned this, but take the time to enjoy the oil and inhale it and just spend a few moments with it as you apply it. And ask yourself, excuse me, am I calmer? Does my stomach feel better? Is my heart beating slower? Has my pain decreased? Really take a few moments to check in with your body after you've used the essential oils. And notice if you feel better right away, if you feel better a few minutes later or a half an hour later. You're going to have different responses. All of you are different individuals and dealing with different kinds of things. So just be patient and take note of the process. Stephanie?
Yes, I neglected to mention at the beginning of the study when I was talking about our objectives that this is a personal use study, and this differs from a more objective scientific study in that it is subjective. So how this makes you feel is huge, and it's what we want to know. So for example, if we were doing stress in like a more of a medical setting, we would be like looking at your heart rate and your respiratory rate and a lot of these physiological factors and really marking them down. We're not doing that because we want to know how you feel. So that's what makes it more important, what Aisha's saying. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. And we also want to note that not all oils work the same for all people. So like medication, sometimes you have to try a couple different things before you get your results. So we want you to know if in the study that you're in, if you don't find results from the products that we're giving you, if you stay committed, I promise you we can probably find some things after the study that will be helpful for you. So make sure and share that with the person that invited you. And I know that they'll be committed to helping you get other samples after the study. And of course, we're giving you the things that typically work for everybody. We're starting with those. But do know that sometimes there's a little bit of trial and error, and you have to try a couple different things to find what's right for you. And then
I'd like to just reiterate that. That's really powerful. That's really true. These are the most common oils for these conditions that we start with, but everyone is bio-individual. And as you know, with Western medicine, you have to sometimes work from one medication to another and really work to find one that can work for people. It's really the same thing. I've seen, some real variation for people. So definitely, if this is not the oil for you, it has a little bit of effect, but you'd like to know there's definitely other options and oils that people that help you find. That's been so true in my journey and helping so many people.
Absolutely. So also, please make sure and stay connected to your support person. They're really your direct support. And so make sure that you've set up a time to either text with them or have a phone chat with them. You can keep it short and concise, but those check-ins are really important every couple of days so they can help guide you. And also stay connected with us on Facebook. We would love to hear how you're doing, testimonials, how you're feeling, any questions that you had. And anytime you post something on Facebook, if it's relevant, please tag the person that invited you so we can make sure that everybody has proper support. And then also we will have a daily check-in post. We'll have that posted after this webinar. We'll have it pinned at the top of the page. And so that will be the running thread for you to do your daily check-ins on. And if you're on a phone or an iPad, on a tablet, you'll need to check the pinned post at the top of the page in order to see it. On your laptop, that will automatically show up on your screen. So make sure and check in with that thread. And then finally, we want this to be educational. We want this to be a positive experience for you all. And we also want to have fun. We have this time together over the 2 weeks, and we really want you to enjoy your time with us. And so every time you share a testimonial or an experience or ask a question or offer to support to others, you'll basically earn a raffle ticket to enter into our raffle to win some fun prizes. And we will choose our first round of prizes next weekend, and then we will, or this coming weekend, and then we'll choose the second round of prizes as we wrap up. So do know you'll have the opportunity by your participation to win some free products. And then we'll leave you with this. So we're asking you to commit to a few seconds 3 times a day to create new patterns and experiences. The shift of incorporating essential oils into your life can create new experiences in your emotional, physical, and even spiritual well-being. And we certainly hope that you enjoy your 2 weeks with us. We're really excited to have you. We're really grateful that you've opted in. We're excited to see the results and what comes from the study. And then we will have our next webinar next Sunday. So we'll post the information for that. And then please stay tuned again on the Facebook page. We will have some education and some fun things happening during the week there as well. So Josie and Stephanie, do you have anything else to add before we wrap up?
No.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to take a moment and stop the recording. Let me just do that.